Hi all, are you a developer, tester or a techie looking to create a professional documentation and host it online all for zero cost? Stick around, I will show you how to use MkDocs with GitHub Pages for exactly that. What is MkDocs? MkDocs is a fast, simple and open source static site generator that is specially designed for creating project documentation. MkDocs is a Markdown based. You just write your content in a plain Markdown MD files. It has a beautiful themes, comes with a clean default theme, and you can use advanced ones like MkDocs material. It is very fast. You can preview your docs instantly with MkDocs serve command. It is easy to host, works seamlessly with GitHub Pages or any other static web server. It is collaboration friendly because it is just a markdown plus Git. Your whole team can contribute towards the documentation. Now let us check what are the prerequisites we need for the MkDocs. MkDocs is built over Python. So you need to have Python 3 or above installed on your system. You also need a GitHub account to host your documentation. Once Python is installed onto your local system, you can install MkDocs using a command pip install MkDocs. Now let's try installing MkDocs. For that, you need to open a command prompt and type a command pip install MkDocs. So in order to use MkDocs, it needs some prerequisites. You can see already these prerequisites are already installed, and after that it installs an MkDocs. And also you can see it has successfully installed MkDocs version 1.6.1. Now the installation is complete. Now let us go to GitHub and create a repository for storing our documentation. If you are new to GitHub and need some help using a GitHub, you can refer to my earlier videos. I will also put the link of this video in the description. You can see here I have already logged into my GitHub page, and if you want to create a new repository, you can click on the new button here. So you need to give a name to the repo. So I'll give the name as working with MkDocs GitHub page. If you see the green here, that means this repo does not exist. Okay, so I can go ahead and create this repo. Along with that, I also need to give a small description. I'll give the description here telling that this is a sample repo to work with MkDocs and GitHub page. And then you can go and create a repository, and make sure that you create a public repository. Don't create a private repository. So in case of private repository, you will have a problems in hosting the documents. Let us create a public repository and then give create repository. Your repository is created. Now you will have to clone your repository back into your local system. Go to the folder in a local system where do you want to clone your repository. And here, so in order to work with Git, you need to install a Git software. And if you also need some help to work with Git, I have already created an video, so you can also refer to that. I will put the video in my description as well. I have already installed Git for Windows, and when I right click here on a more options, I can see Git bash here. Just click here, it will bring out a console and where you can type a Git commands. So in order to clone a repository, you need to go to the GitHub page, and then you can basically copy this command. So either you can use HTTPS or SSH. In order to use an SSH, you need to configure SSH keys, but for a time being, I will use HTTPS. So I take this, I come back to the Git bash here, and I will have to write a command git clone then paste here. Yeah, it clones the repository. It also given me the warning telling that repository is empty. That is true here. So you can go to the file explorer and see that the repository is already cloned here. If you go inside, you don't have anything here. Okay, so now you can start creating your documents using MkDocs. And if you want more information on how to create a document using a command line, then you can refer or go to the official documentation of MkDocs. This is the home page of MkDocs, that is https mkdocs.org, and under which there are a lot of documentation. For a time being, I'm going to skip that and I just go directly into getting started. So it says that installation is like pip install MkDocs. We have already done that. Now in order to create a new project, you can go to any the folder in your local system and bring a command line and type MkDocs, then new your project name. I will go to the directory where I cloned my GitHub repository, and I will bring the command prompt by typing a command, and then I will try to create a new documentation using MkDocs new and my project name. This is my project name. I'll give the project name as my GitHub repository name. Now it created a documentation structure successfully. So if I go back to GitHub page, it says that once the project creation is successful, it basically creates a folder structure, something like this. You will have mkdocs.yaml file, which is basically a configuration file, under which it creates a docs and index.md. Okay, and you can also refer to the documentation what each of this is. And if you go through here, it says that there is a single configuration file named mkdocs.ml and a folder named docs that will contain your documentation sources. All your documentation sources that are markdown files should be under the docs folder. Okay, and docs is a default name for the documentation directory that has an configuration setting. Right now the docs folder just contains a single documentation page named index.md. Okay, let us go back to our folder and see. So you see here it has created mkdocs.ml and docs folder, under which you will have a single file called as index.md. So in order to check whether the configuration is correct, whether the documentation configuration is corrected properly or not, you can go and type a command here, mkdocs serve. So yeah, first we need to go inside the documentation folder, that is, this is my documentation folder, and here I have to give a command mkdocs serve. This will create and it will basically bring out server where it will host your documentation. By default it will be under localhost. If you see 127.0.0 is your localhost. Let us copy this and let us go here and type this, and you can see it has created MkDocs. By default the documentation name is my docs, and yeah, you can basically see this MkDocs serve basically hosts your document in a local host. Okay, let us copy this URL and go to the browser and open this link, and you can see your documentation your document is by name MkDocs. Okay, you can also go and examine this by going to your YAML file. Let us go to the folder, and in this YAML file you can see it gives a site name as MyDocs, and the rest of the content here are coming from your index.md. Let us go and examine that file as well. If you open index.md file, and you can see there is a markdown language where the documentation is basically written. So the same content you can see in your web page. This is how basically you can use a MkDocs to create a documentation, but you can change the look and feel. You can put your own content. Now let us see how we can customize this MkDocs for your need, for writing your document. Now let us check how to change the configuration of your documentation. For that you need to refer the section theming our documentation. What it says here is that you can add a new theme by editing mkdocs.ml. This example snippet shows how to add a theme inside your mkdocs.yml. Okay, when you create a new project using MkDoc, by default site name will be populated. So you can also add a nav tag to show the navigation or to show the structure of your documentation. In this example, your documentation will have the two pages called home page and about page. Home page will render the content that is written inside the index.md file, and about page will render the content that is shown inside about.md. So you can also add a theme by using a tag called theme. Here we are using the read the docs theme. If you want to understand theme configuration in a detail, you can go to a page called choosing your theme. Okay, and under which you can see how to add different navigation styles, how to add the color combinations to your page, and there are a lot of things that are available here. So I will show you one such example. Let us go and customize your theme. Now let us go and edit mkdocs.ml file, and by default the site name is MyDocs. Let us change this. So I will add working with MkDocs and GitHub Pages. Now let us add a theme. You can add a theme using a tag called theme, under which you will have to specify the name of the theme. Here I am using the read the docs as a theme. For this theme, let us add a color scheme. This can be done by using a tag called palette, and it should be at the same level as the name, and this thing should go inside the palette. Okay, this is how you will have to follow the structure. Okay, you will have to follow the proper indentation, otherwise MkDocs will throw an error. So under the theme you have a name, and for this theme you can add the color combination using palette. Under the palette you can specify what is your primary color and how the accent is. So my primary color is blue and accent is light blue. Now let us add the structure of your documentation. This can be done using a tag called nav. So let us add this. This should go out of theme. It has to come to the root level, and then you can put a navigation. I have the two pages. One is the home page, another one is the course topics. Okay, so the course topics is coming from course overview.md. So I have to add a page called course overview.md, and the home page is coming from index.md. So what I need to do, I have to go inside the docs and add another md file, new text document by name course overview.md. Okay, so and so now I have to go and alter the content of index.md with some meaningful content, because this page was generated by default while creating the new project. I want to go and change the content of my home page. I have already made a sample. I am going to paste it. Yeah, my content looks something like this. Here I am providing my style with, this is basically your HTML syntax, okay, markdown language syntax. So this will be displayed as a span with a style with a color as blue, and I am putting title as MkDoc with GitHub Pages. Okay, so let us do this like GitHub single one and pages, and this page will have an image. The image will be put under the images, and the name of the image will be MkDocs with GitHub Pages.png. So let us go and create that. So what it says, and I have to create a directory called as an images under docs, because all the document content is coming from the files which is under the docs. So if you also see here, this document refers, this is our index.md, it refers to the folder images, so which is at the same directory as the index.md. So I will have to create a directory called images under the docs folder, and under which I will have to paste a PNG. I have already created a PNG. So what I will do is I will copy from here. I will go to docs images and I will be pasting it here. Whatever the content that is inside this image will be displayed in our home page. I will go and save this. Along with that, I will also give a link. Okay, let us go and check how it works and what I can do. I will go inside my document, that is here. This is my document directory, and I will open a command prompt. Then I will type a command called MkDocs serve. This will bring up my document. It will basically host my documentation, and I will copy this. I will go to a browser and open this. Now you can see this is how basically your page looks like. I think this is not that neat, and here you have a page that is your index page that has got MkDocs with the GitHub page, right? And under which you have an image that is embedded. That is all coming from this particular part of the file, MD file, right? And also you have this course provided detail on how to use MkDocs with GitHub Pages. Let us go and change this and save this, and you can also see the content is changed now. Okay, so this is how we can basically write your documentation, and on the same time you can also preview your documentation how it looks like. Now the theme is not looks that great, and let us go and add some more features for this theme to make it better. And for that, what I will do, I will add a feature in the YAML file, and I have to open this YAML file, and under the theme I need to add a feature. I think this should this should be under the same level as this, and this should be under feature. Let us put a tab, and this should, yeah, this is the exact structure. As soon as I change this, my page will also change. Okay, you can see here my entire structure has been changed now, and it looks like the different theme now. And under here you have a course topic. This file does not exist. I need to go and add this file. Okay, so this is what I have specified here in my index.md with the color as blue. The same thing, you can see it there. Okay, now let us go and add some more contents into my index.md file. What I will try to do is I will add some course link as course topic here, and hash is an heading. This is a subheading, and you can see I have added the course topic. For a detailed breakdown of the course topic, check out the course overview. This is a link, and this basically refers to a file called course overview.md. So we have created course overview.md, but currently it is empty. Let us go and edit this file and add some content here, and I will be adding something like this. My heading is course overview, under which I have a subheading using MkDocs with GitHub. So I will change G here, GitHub. Here I am adding the subheading again under this heading, like introduction to MkDocs. This is the overview of MkDocs. Okay, I'll save this. Let us go and refresh a page, and you can see under home we have the course topics, and here if you see this, and this is subsection, right? This subsection under my home page, and here you can see for a detailed breakdown of the course topics, check out the course suite. This is basically a link. When I click this link, it takes me into a new page. This is a main heading, under which I have a subheading, under which another small heading, over which I have the small text called overview of MkDocs. And if you want to add a bullet points, you can add it via hyphen here. Okay, this is how basically the Markdown language works, and you can also go and check some in the internet for some tutorials how to write in the MD files. Okay, now our document is ready. It's a time to go and host our document in a GitHub page, and before that we'll have to push our changes into GitHub repository, and then we see how to basically add a GitHub page into our GitHub repository. I'll go to my local GitHub repository and bring git bash, and then type git status. This will give me the status of all the files that has been changed. Okay, and then I want to commit, or I want to push all my changes. So what I will do git add with dot, then again I will give a command git status. If you see, all these changes are ready to be staged. Now I'll commit my changes using a command git commit -m changes to the theme. Commit is successful. Now I will push my code using a command git push. It's taking some time. Yeah, now the push is complete, and let us go to our remote repository and see if the changes are committed or not. Yes, I can see all my changes here, and you can also see my commit message. So this is how basically you can push your local changes into your remote GitHub repositories. To publish and deploy your MK documentation, you need to set up GitHub Action. In order to set up a GitHub Actions in your repository, you need to click a button Actions, and it takes you into a page where it asks you what kind of GitHub workflow that you want to set up. In my case, I am going to set up a simple workflow, and I just click configure. By default, it gives you a blank YML, but I have my own YML file to perform the deployment actions. I will give the name as deploy.yml, and I replace the content with my own content that will basically help you to publish the MkDocs on a GitHub page. Let's try to understand this YAML file. The YAML file here, it starts with the name, and in the name you can see I have given the deploy the MK sites. Okay, it basically specify what action you are going to perform. Okay, this part of the YAML file shows when to run this workflow. So whenever I push my changes into the main branch, this particular workflow is going to be executed. And this part says that whenever you push the change, it will run the build on a Ubuntu machine. Okay, it is going to spin up a clean virtual machine, and in the virtual machine it clones the latest code base. Okay, and after that it will set up a Python in that virtual machine, and the version that is recommended is 3.x. Okay, because MkDocs only works on Python 3 and above. After that, it will try to install the dependencies. Okay, what it will do, it will install MkDocs, because we need an MkDocs to publish your document. And in case if you are using any kind of special themes like MkDocs material, it will also going to install. The highlighted part is very important. This is where actual magic happens. Here the MkDocs converts the .md files into the static HTML site and then pushes into GH pages, which will be used by the GitHub to publish your documentation. Let us go and commit the changes, and you can also give a commit message. This commit has happened in the remote repository, but still you don't have the changes here. In order to bring the changes here, you will have to use git pull. Then whatever the changes that you perform on the remote repository will be pulled back into your local repository. And if I go to the actions again here and see, yeah, there is something that is wrong. It has failed. Let us try to understand why it has failed. Okay, this error clearly says that GitHub action does not have a permission to push the changes back into my repository. Okay, I have told that if you see in my, if I come back to my YAML file, if I go here, what I am doing here, the MkDocs basically converts the .md files back into the HTML, static HTML sites, and writes back into my repository during the GitHub action workflow, but I have not given any permission to do this. Okay, this can be resolved by adding by providing a proper permission in my YAML file. So what I will do, I will go and edit this file, and I will add the permission after selecting the branches. Okay, after the branches, I will, before this job, I will give the permission. Let us go and commit these changes, and if the build runs correctly or not. For that I have to go to actions, and build has triggered, and it is building and deploying it. I think this particular step is passed now. Now the build is green. Okay. Now what you have now, you are able to generate an HTML sites and deploy into GH pages. But still the task is not completed, because you have to go and publish and deploy your documents into the GitHub pages. Okay. Let us see how to do that. To do this, you'll have to come back to your repository, and under the repository you'll have to go to settings. Under the settings you'll have to select the pages, and in the pages you need to give here the source as GH pages, because the MkDocs converts the pages, converts the MD files into GH pages. And go and save this. Yeah, once it is done, now your the GitHub action is going to publish your document into the GitHub page. Okay. In order to find out where exactly it publishes, you will have to go back to your pages. I think this build is happening now. Let us wait for a few minutes to complete. Now the build is completed. Now the deploying task is running. The task is also completed, and you can see here this particular URL where your pages are deployed, your document MkDocs are published. Let's go and click this. This is your page. So whenever you write your pages, you can use the GitHub pages to host it for free of cost. So this is your content. So you have your home page. Under home page I have given an image, under which I also given as a course topics with the link. When I click, this basically goes into a course topic. It is just an I have created just for a demo purpose. This is how MkDocs and GitHub works together to publish your documents with free of cost. I hope you enjoyed learning with me. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.